Gary, before we look ahead to this weekend's trip to Portsmouth, after the Forest Green game last weekend, you were quite open about your disappointment in the first 60-65 minutes of that game. Have you spoken to the players this week about that, or is it one that you just brush under the carpet and fully focus on this weekend?
No, I think we always have to learn when we lose, when we draw, when we win. We always have to take something from the game that makes us better individually, makes us better as a group. My biggest disappointment was the energy, the belief, playing on the front foot. I think when we play like that, we're at our best, and we didn't show that. We looked a bit tentative. I did say in hindsight that the 2 weeks off probably hurt us. We probably looked like we needed that hour to get back into the swing of playing a game. But since I've come in, the players have given me so much. I expect high standards. I want high standards. I want to constantly drive the team forward. And my disappointment for that first hour is because I know these players can play better. I know they can give more, and they know that as well. They were as disappointed as me. But what I will say about them is that the last half hour was exceptional. And their ability under pressure when they're behind to keep going and to come back into games is first class, and to do that at that moment, and probably should have won the game with the chances we had in that moment for the short corner, shows where we are as a group. It's 4 games unbeaten. It's a run we want to continue. So the disappointment at the end was also, part of a really kind of good performance at the end.
And that last 20 minutes or so is, if you take a momentum into the next game, it's not a bad period of play to take into it. Portsmouth, then two away wins in a row for ourselves. Obviously, we'll be looking to make that 3, but we face a very different Portsmouth side that we faced on Boxing Day, despite that only being 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, we do. Obviously, unfortunately, the manager lost his job. They have played a number of different formations in the game since then. They might have a new manager. So we have to prepare for different scenarios that could come up in the game. But as I say every week, the main thing is how we approach the game, how we play, and that first hour on Saturday, changing that dynamic and playing on the front foot, even though we're away from home, being very aggressive with and without the ball, and that is the most important thing. We obviously have to be prepared for the challenges that Portsmouth will bring, but they will be, on the day they could be anything, and we are ready for that, whatever that is.
How much do you look into an opposition's team's form? Obviously, they've not won in, I think it's 10 or 11 in the league now.
Yeah, they're in a difficult moment. I think that is clear. But we've seen them on Boxing Day. They're a very good team, and they cause us some problems. So we have to try and affect the crowd early by keeping the ball, by dominating the game. And try and turn that into a negative for the team, but we're under no illusions how good a team they can be and how good players they have. So we have to be prepared for that, but try and use the potential negativity that could be in the stadium with how we start the game and how we play in that early period.
Fratton Park's known well for its atmosphere, and the home stands will of course be noisy, but 1,600 away fans travelling, that's another absolutely incredible effort, and it just continues what we've been seeing week after week.
It does, yes. The supporters are incredible, home and away. Not just the numbers, but the voice. I think on Saturday, at a moment when we really needed them, they stuck with us and helped us along with the finishers that came on. They helped us get back into the game. So to travel the distance, it looks close on the map, but people tell me it's quite far. I've never made the journey, but for them to travel again and those numbers, the distance they are is incredible, and we need to give them something to shout about from the very start of the game.
Yeah, only a little bit of motorway right at the end to get to Portsmouth. So it's the first of 3 games in a week. We know we've not got the biggest of squads. You'll of course be wanting to rotate over that time. It's January, so I'm going to ask you the question. You'll of course be looking to bring in players, but they've got to be the right players.
We are. Every day, myself, Marcus, Malcolm are discussing players, discussing targets. We're you know, even meeting people face to face, trying to get the right players into this football club. It's not easy. The better players in January are sought after. Other clubs are looking at them as well. But we're doing everything we can to bring the right players to this club, to support and help the players that are already here. We have a fantastic group of players that I'm more than happy going into these games with, but longer term they need some support, and they need the numbers that creates competition, that allows us to rotate and, you know, put in like for like in certain positions. So we will try and do that right up to the very last minute of the window. And I said at the start of the window, and I'll say it again, that February the 1st is when we judge the window. You know, I think it's a window that is notoriously slow in the beginning, unless you want to overpay and overspend. And then later on in the window, then there's the kind of bargains that become available, but the right ones and the right characters, and we will be ready to bring them in when that happens.
I think I've heard over the years from plenty of people in football, they always say that January is a really difficult window, and like you've said, sometimes it is just worth waiting towards the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, we've brought Joe in, and he showed his quality last week, coming off the bench. So we're showing that we want the right kind of player, and a player that's going to excite the supporters, a player that's going to add to the group that's here. And if we have to wait right till the last minute to get the right ones, then so be that. It's not for lack of trying, it's not for a lack of effort from everyone in the club that you know, more players haven't came in, but we will keep going, and we'll find the right ones to help us.
It is, of course, a marathon, not a sprint, which leads me nicely into the training for the half. How's it going now?
I got a 10.5k in last Saturday, which is probably why I was a bit less animated, but I got my second win near the end of the game. I went round up to Cowley, actually, and round Cowley, it's quite hilly up there, and I came back down to the canal, round the canal, then I went up that, what is that street called with the pubs on the way down?
4th Street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That hill's getting harder and harder. And then yesterday I went out with Perks. He improves my speed when I go out with Perks, so we done a 7k in 40 minutes, which is my new PB for 7k. But no, it's going really well, and it's good banter amongst the staff, and you know, we're all putting on our training times and that on a WhatsApp group. But more importantly, it's for an amazing cause. So every step we take, every, you know, effort that we're putting in is for a fantastic cause, and hopefully we can raise a lot of money for that.
And of course, it's the day after we play Burton away, so hopefully we don't get back too late from that one.
Yeah, it's not a great timing for that as well, but no, we'll all be ready when it comes, and run, jog, walk, limp our way over the finishing line. I do think Perks has got a chance of winning it if he really wants to. If he cuts out the pints, then he's got a chance of winning it, because he runs so efficiently, and when he done, I think his 10k was about 37 minutes. So if he can replicate that, we've looked at previous times, he's going to have a go.
And that's about my 5 there. Cheers, Gary.
Thank you.